Hi everyone, and welcome to the weekly Scopes from the 18th of December right up until the 24th of December. Now there's a lot going on. Not only do we have a new moon, we also got the winter solstice, and as you know I like to go in depth, so it's going to be a bit of a quick not a quick one, it's going to be a long one, but bear with me. So I'm going to start with the 18th. The moon enters void of course at 11:31. All times are in GMT. So whenever I mention void of course, I'm going to tell my podcast editor to keep all this in actually, so you know it can be a process editing me. But anyway, seeing as it's the festive season, I'll keep some of these, outtakes in. So moon void of course, so whenever I mention it, it's just basically a time where some astrologers say it's best to delay essential things like meetings, contracts, whatever. So but not partying, hey. So also on the 18th at 1 minute past 5, the moon enters Libra. The best use of the Libra moon's energy is working with or helping others, compromising to find solutions to problems, or simply working with others just to get work completed quickly. Working on creative work or any other projects, becoming more refined on your taste and appearance. The energy is given to work through problems peacefully, looking for resolutions that meet the needs of everyone involved. This is sort of like the perfect time to resolve creative or legal and other partnership matters if you can, and that's a big if. Remain cool and calm, rational, and focus on the practicalities of not only the situation but what you're going to say. Then you can navigate also any blocks to finding peaceful resolution or any obstacles that you may face. It may be a good idea to put off essential matters until later if you can't keep a level head. Some of you may be able to appreciate things such as music, beauty, nature more, making the Libra moon a sort of perfect time to start or continue artistic or musical projects. You may want to socialize more and make your close ones feel appreciated by saying words of affirmation. You can make them feel appreciated by cooking for them, taking them out, giving them a gift, or meeting their needs in some other way. Some of you may be more interested in psychological and emotional issues rather than socializing right now. Negatively, people can gossip more, be distant or outspoken. This can cause tensions in relationships due to a lack of understanding, impoliteness, bad manners, and insensitive to other people's feelings. So do your best to remain practical, rational, and peaceful. Listen to other people's points of view and state your wishes assertively, but be thoughtful with your actions and words to reduce the conflict, because hey, it's nice to be nice sometimes, but don't people please, because that's Libra energy. Don't do that. Assert yourself, but in a polite way. So some people may prefer to just be alone. It's a good moon to look after yourself, self-care on the spiritual, emotional, psychological levels, and you may be more emotional, hypersensitive as well, so you may just want to take a break. And the Libra moon supports taking extra time just to look after your general physical health, your body, because sometimes we can be in our minds and forget to do that. Drinking more water, going for health checkups, exercising, and doing other things to look after your general well-being is also good. Also, under the Libra moon, when the moon's in the constellation of Libra, it's a good time to plant plants, especially those who, if you're in the southern, because we're going into the winter solstice right now, but in England, planting colourful fruits, vegetables, and plants can make your garden look more colourful. It's also an excellent period to plant hard roots such as parsnips, celery, roots, water chestnuts, ginger, potatoes, and turmeric. Also today, the sun makes a sextile quadrant to the moon's north node, bringing a strong desire to mingle with fellow human beings. However, there may be some hiccups along the way, so it's just kind of amplifying the negatives of the Libra moon as well, but it's also supporting you coming together. a salsa gathering and there's lots of them right about now, may come to a screeching halt. People can use power plays to get what they want. It can be a battle of wills, demonstrations of selfishness, polar opposites that struggle to meet. So one partner may be, yeah, I want to go out party, it's the festive season, yay. Another's like, no babes, I just want to stay at home and just Netflix without the chill. So you know what I'm saying. But for some of you, this energy can help you resolve conflicts. So yeah, that's the 18th of December. On the 19th of December, the moon enters Voya Combustia. So Voya Combustia is also known as the Way of Fire. It runs from the 15th degrees of Libra to the 15th degrees of Scorpio in astrology. When the moon is in the fiery way, some astrologers think it's best to delay starting new things. Still, I see it as a perfect energy to start or continue working through your deep emotions, self-destructive thoughts or behaviours, and any psychological, spiritual and relationship problems, because you can't feel the fullness of life if you have thoughts and relationships holding you back. And it's an excellent time to explore any matter that requires you to dive deep and that you typically numb yourself to or run from. Yet it won't be all the bed of roses, digging deep, going down into those emotions that you've been blocking. And I know it's the festive season and some of you may do that, it's your life, but for those of you who feel that you can, this is the best use of the energy. And because you can get out of the darkness if you keep working on your personal development rather than continually having this cycle of highs and lows. Venus also makes a quincunx to Mars today, which can see some people acting wild, being deceptive, unpredictable, and intense feelings can run hot and cold. People can either do too little or too much in love, leading to harsh words and aggressive actions due to heated discussions. Venus also makes a trine to the moon's north node today, so this brings to the table opportunities to strengthen social, artistic or romantic relationships. For some of you, a chance meeting on the bus, a daring museum visit maybe, or maybe for those already in a couple, you could go to a museum or somewhere, nightclub, pub, whatever, and meet someone there. Some of you may decide to take like a romantic walk in the park. Being open to new possibilities can open you up to a wealth of wonderful experiences, but watch out for those red flags, because you know what I'm like. Some of you may make a new best friend, discover your inner Picasso, or even find the love of your life. And hey, it could happen, and while you're out there celebrating the period to be jolly and all of that, as we say in the UK. So of course there's also a chance that you'll float away into a hot air balloon or get chased by a pack of rabid squirrels, but hey, no risk, no reward, right? Yeah. So I'm just trying to bring a bit of my humour into this podcast. So yeah, why not be bold, seize every opportunity to make new connections, because you never know what new exciting experiences may be waiting for you out there. Also on the 20th of December, the moon enters its Balsamic Moon phase, so just before the new moon. So the key words are relax, reflect, plan, stillness, celebrate, progress and letting go. The waning crescent or balsamic dark moon, as some call it, is a good time for some taking some time out to just be alone or in solitude, or with close ones who want to just be at peace. You may shy away from the hectic, but this moon phase wants us to get ready to release and let go, to chill out. And if you don't know how to chill out, find those who know to do that, or do some research on how to have some relaxing fun and stuff, which kind of defeats the purpose. But the dark moon is all about continuing or starting to let go of the things or people that hold you back, as the moon prepares to enter its rejuvenating phase at the time of the coming new moon. Through the Balsamic Moon transits, you may find yourself contemplating on the past, thinking about the future, without much focus on the now. You may have a deeper connection with your inner voice, intuition, imagination and dream life, which can, some of you may have beautiful dreams, some of you may have nightmares that are trying to reveal ways in that emotions you may need to deal with, or things you need to start releasing or continue to release. So at the dark moon, you may be asking yourself questions like, what do I need to do to change, to be who I want to be? What's stopping me? What patterns of my past do I keep on repeating? What steps do I need to take to create the future I want? And what do I need to give up to be able to move forward? So yeah. Also on the 20th, the moon enters void, of course, for about a few hours, because it does that sometimes, and then it enters Scorpio at 9:28. All times are in GMT. So esoterically, the best use of this energy is to look after your financial, sexual and emotional health, working to understand and let go of any anger, increase your self-discipline, take practical actions towards completing things, study scientific, technological or occult topics, and forgive those who feel you have wronged you. If you find it hard to express your emotions, writing them down may help. The moon in the constellation of Scorpio may also see people becoming more diligent and making practical effort to improve their home environment. This is incredible energy to ensure your life and other insurance policies are up to date. If you consciously use the Scorpio moon vibration, you can complete the things you put your willpower to, doing the work to improve your physical or inner emotional, spiritual and psychological home, as well as taking care of your finances, can bring extra rewards in the long term. There can also be an increase in sexual and psychic energy. Negatively, past emotional resentments and conflicts involving money and other resources may cause problems in relationships. Although you may take action to avoid these types of confrontations, you may be forced to deal with them. It's best to admit any wrongdoing and try and forgive others and yourself. This may be hard to do, yet remember, we can never change our past. We can relive it repeatedly in our minds, blocking the new directions we could be walking towards. There can also be an increase in jealous and or vengeful behaviour under the Scorpio moon. People can be intent on repaying what they see as past wrongs. People can become more secretive about behaviours, furthering the tension in relationships. Some of you may feel like your creative and vital energies are blocked. Getting as much rest as possible is essential to rejuvenating your life force. Screaming may be the best and only way to release your pent-up rage. Lack of money may also bring you added stress, but it's imperative to consider what you can do with what you have rather than focus on what you lack. It can take longer to reach your goals due to a lack of adequate resources, but if you keep on trying, you will eventually get there. Although you may be tempted to start new things, it's best to use this moon to finish up old business and projects and resolve old arguments. Study scientific, technological, occult or intellectual subjects and practice self-discipline and moon control. For gardeners out there, when the moon is in Scorpio, it's a decent time to plant hard crops and vines such as pole beans, corn, cucumbers, pumpkins, tomatoes, squashes, melons and courgettes. The Sun also makes a square to Jupiter today on the 20th, which may make those in power be more accessible, so it could be good for reaching out for those who can help you. Negatively, people can focus on the bigger picture and neglect the finer details, be overconfident and take risks with money and other resources, and this sort of recklessness and can just blow your whole Christmas budget. So yeah, people can also have prejudiced views and can cause mistakes or conflicts in relationships because of the recklessness or being opinionated. So yeah, that's the 20th of December. So hey, it's the 21st of December, 4 days before Xmas. And now I'm going to talk about the summer, not the summer. I'm going to make my podcast guy keep that in. The winter solstice. So first of all, the sun enters out of bounds at 6:07 p.m. GMT time. So out of bound planets in astrology are called this because their declination is greater than 23.27 degrees. Out of bound planets or luminaries, so we're talking about the sun here, in transit can enhance creative thinking and self-expression. Declination astrology is when the celestial equator, which is the terrestrial equator, I know none of this makes sense, but hey, it's to you, but trust me, extended into space, projected against the backgrounds of the stars. So yeah, the sun is out of bounds for a few hours as it transitions into the winter solstice. At this time, you could do like a unique meditation or self-reflection about how you can become your best self, getting more determined to take more passionate and positive action for the coming year to reach your goals and increase your energy levels. If you are a workaholic, thinking about the ways to relax more, have more fun by starting a new hobby or creative project based on what you really want to do, not on society's expectations, but what you really, that fire, that full, that things that turn you on, sort of thing. So thinking about the ways you lack or are over enthusiastic, assessing how you are selfish and what you can do to reduce these behaviours. And if you people please, you can use this time to look into ways, even though it's a few hours, but hey, to how you can assert yourself. And all of this is pretty much the theme of the winter solstice that is exact at 9:49 GMT time. So I'm going to just break down, talk a bit about what the winter solstice is and then the astrology of this winter solstice. So yeah. The winter solstice is when the sun reaches its most southerly declination and is seen as a moment of balance between the darkness and the light of the year. It's a powerful cleansing and reawakening energy, signaling to individuals that it's time to understand and balance the darkness and light, the good and the bad, dare I say, even though I don't believe in such a things, but our most positive and our most negative behaviours within ourselves. So astrologically and spiritually speaking, the winter solstice is the time for you to go inwards, to take time out to honour and nurture your authentic needs and yourself. So the main themes of the winter solstice is basically rebirth, and for some people it's a time to reflect on their spiritual, their sort of pagan, their cultural or other beliefs. So as I said, the solstice happens twice a year. We have the winter one and we have the summer one. And when it is solstice time, basically the sun reaches its peak or nadir in relation to the celestial equator, which is, like a kind of grandiose term for a imaginal circle in the sky that doesn't really exist. But hey, the winter solstice is both the shortest and the darkest day of the year. But fear not, for the winter solstice signals the gradual return of the sunlight, and that gives the promise that brighter days will come. Astrologically speaking, the winter solstice marks the beginning of the new astrological year. During this time, the planets and the cosmos energies can be felt more strongly, allowing us to tap into powerful insights and understanding. The winter solstice is a unique opportunity to become more in tune with our true nature, using the planetary powers to make positive changes in our lives. In general, the solstice doesn't necessarily have an overriding influence on, all zodiac signs, but it is a significant time because it does mark the start of the astrological new year, and it also marks the astrological and spiritual period of death, renewal and rebirth that follows the winter months. So we're talking in the northern hemisphere December, January, February. In the southern hemisphere we're talking testing me, June, July and August. So yeah, people use this time for self-reflection, having gratitude. Many people, cultures across the world actually do rituals, and some people also use this time to prepare for the coming winter months, which is a good use of this energy as well. As the winter solstice passes, the days begin to lengthen, so it's the shortest day of the year, and as the winter goes on and we get into January, February, the sun begins to beam again and giving us the promise that we can go ahead with a bit more optimism and faith. And some people also use this time to celebrate the waning of the light, the darkness, recognising the return of the winter from the autumn and summer periods and seeing the beauty in the darkness, and knowing that this is the time when things appear dead, but then the spring comes and that gives us a promise and the possibilities of new beginnings. And also, because a lot of the time, where we avoid thinking about death, But the winter solstice is also a time where we can take some time out to contemplate life's fragility, find solace in nature and honour the earth cycles. So yeah, the word solstice originates from the Latin solstitium, hope I'm saying that right, which translates to sun stands still. And this is because the sun pauses before altering its course northward or southward, depending, as I said, if you live in a place where the solstice happens the winter solstice happens in June, or a place where it happens in December, and I'm talking about the northern hemisphere, December now. So yeah, the winter solstice marks not only the astrological new year, but also the astronomical winter and the astrological winter as well. So astronomical and astrological seasons depend on the position of the earth in relation to the distance from the sun. In Vedic constellational astrology, which I use, this happens when the sun is in the constellation of Sagittarius always, and in the northern hemisphere anyway. And in Western tropic astrology, the winter solstice always happens when the sun is in Capricorn. Astronomically and astrologically, the winter ends on the 20th to the 23rd of March in the northern hemisphere, which is the start of spring, which, we have the spring equinox. And in the southern hemisphere, the winter period ends on the 20th to the 23rd of September, and that's the start of the spring in the southern hemisphere. And the winter solstice, as I said, is the longest day. So daylight typically lasts 7 to 8 hours during the winter solstice, and night lasts 17 to 18 hours compared to the summer, when daylight lasts about 17 to 19 hours, and nighttime can last, anywhere between 5-7 hours. Sometimes I notice it's only 5 hours, but anyway, yeah. As I said, in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice takes place when the sun is in the constellation of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is a mutable fire energy, reminding us to be flexible in the coming year, but also to kind of blaze ahead with that fire, with that passion to get what we want, but also reminding us that we're going to have to be flexible in order to achieve this. As we use fire energy, we burn things to the ground to build new, uplifting, productive habits to replace energy draining and self-destructive ones. Sagittarius energy is also yang, masculine, doing energy. But being a mutable sign, Sagittarius can also embrace the feminine, yin, feeling energy, which is the feeling, reflective, introspective vibration. The symbol of Sagittarius is the archer with the arrow, reminding you to make sure whatever you put your effort and attention to is what you really want to manifest in your life. Because normally sometimes we're like, hey, I want a better life, but we spend every single day doing habits, being around environments that go against our goals. So this energy is getting us to get real about that, and wants us to focus on that, and wants us to choose the habits and the environments and the relationships that are going in the same direction. The archer with the arrow and the bow, shooting for the stars or shooting towards our goals in our case, in the individual cases, finding the sweet spot between the expression of your personal traits, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, because we've all got them without judging. We've all got crappy sides to us, every single person, no matter what you say. If they deny that, then they're lying. So yeah, accepting all sides of you, allowing yourself to get, obviously some people are nicer than others, but we've all got bad points. So yeah, accepting all sides of yourself, allowing yourself to get out of your comfort zone, and becoming more open-minded as you teach yourself to use your inner darkness constructively and use it to grow willpower and take positive actions to bring more positive things into your life. Because wishful thinking, we can all be idealistic, because Sagittarius energy can be idealistic as well, but we have to take that practical action to push ourselves ahead and make those changes, even if it is painful. So yeah, regardless of past mistakes, heartbreaks, setbacks and current obstacles, The winter solstice is telling us, yeah, it's dark to let go, and it is dark, but spring will come, the summer will come, you start harvesting if you keep on taking the small steps. Sometimes we rush ahead, I'm guilty of it, and making these grand changes for 2 weeks. This is why most of us, New Year, we're going to be saying, yeah, we're going to start new exercise regimes, spend 2 weeks, trying to do 20 hours a day of exercise, if you get my point. And then after 2 weeks, that's it for the rest of the year, until when it's the other New Year. Just try and take 5 minutes, the small steps, slow and steady will win that race. And it won't be easy, but it's possible if you are willing and open to change. So some questions that can help you with self-reflections: do my actions match my thoughts? Do my thoughts promote a healthy or negative attitude? Do the relationships in my life support me or make me neglect myself? Are they in line with my authentic values and objectives? Who is the authentic me? What do I really want to achieve out of this current lifetime? How can I bring about more understanding of my life? Because after all, the tagline for the key phase for Sagittarius is I see. So are you stuck in old beliefs? Or are you open to new ideas, people and experiences? Do you go over the top? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter in astrology spans everything it touches, for good or the bad. So what ways do you under or over exaggerate the facts? For example, are you honest about how you or other people's toxic behaviours affect your life? Do you praise yourself for your talents and skills, or do you fail to even acknowledge them or use them? Why do you do this? Does it go back to childhood? Most of us do. And I know, having had a difficult childhood and met lots of people that have, I realised that most of us do actually die in childhood, and it is hard when we go into our relationships and we get hurt and hurt and hurt. See the positive. But what I do with my life now is just realise that I cannot control others. I can only control how I respond and what I allow in my life, and these are the only things that we can do. And sometimes people don't intentionally mean to hurt us, but life can be hard. We can change. Astrology says we've got to go off in different life directions and stuff. So even though someone may promise you that they'll be with you forever, they sometimes can't keep that promises, and it can hurt. But I've seen people worth decades, years, their whole life, upset over something that happened 40-50 years ago, and they've wasted that 40-50 years. Yes, we must mourn, yes, we must grieve, but there's a time for everything, and there's a time when we have to just think to ourselves, I'm going to move forward and break out of it. So you may want to ask yourself questions like, as well, do you actively work to reach your highest potential? If not, why not? How do you pass the current trauma, stop you from visualizing or creating a better life for yourself and carrying out the healthy behaviors that you know that will bring order and balance into your life? Are you straightforward with yourself? Are you direct, or do you bend the truth with yourself and others? Are you open-minded or closed-minded? If you are closed-minded, why? Do you form your own beliefs? Do you make up your own mind? And do you let other people do that for you? So yeah, those are some questions to help you with this reflection over the coming months. Sagittarius energy wants you to seek and evaluate knowledge at the time of the solstice and the coming 3 months, deciding for yourself what you believe in and being more optimistic and open to adventure without being too idealistic, argumentative, self-indulgent and harsh with words or your actions. Because yes, we must speak our truths, but as many people did say to me in my youth, we must consider our own and other people's feelings. And sometimes it's not what we say. I got this a lot as well. It's how you say it as well. So just think about how you say people. Think, is there a better way that I can word this, that I can say this? So yeah. So now I'm just going to talk about the astrology of the winter solstice. So as I said, it happens on the 21st of December at 9:49 GMT time in the UK. So the solstice, as I said, it's about connecting with yourself and the rhythms of nature and earth, and it can be an incredibly illuminating and downright magical experience. At the time of the winter solstice, it's also time to slow down, reflect and embrace the unique energy of the season, seek out moments of stillness and find your innermost self among the cozy warmth of the crackling fire and hot cocoa, or for some of you, I don't know, Bailey's, tiramisu, or any other festive sort of like drink. So yeah, whether you're taking a walk in the woods or sitting in meditation, find joy in the simple things and allow yourself to explore the depths of your own being. Taking time to observe and listen to the natural world around us can increase our understanding of our personal development and allow us to explore our potential in the ways we may never even imagined. Sitting out in a grassy meadow, listening to the birds chirping can be surprisingly therapeutic, but hey, it's cold. So if you are going to do that, remember to wrap up warm, or if you're like me, because this is, I know I'm going to try and go out, I am going to try. But if you don't want to go out, play some online streams of nature and be nicely warm in your home as you watch the snow fall on your screen. Praise whoever you believe in, that you're indoors and you're not outside. Or if you're feeling a bit daring, you can try and imitate the bird song to connect to the earth's natural rhythms, or maybe doing some drumming or making any other nature sounds that take your fancy right now. Because who knows, you may discover you've got a hidden talent in bird calling or any other nature sounds, or you may already have, and so the winter solstice is the perfect time to use those. This year, the winter solstice takes place when the sun is in the 6th degree of Sagittarius, which is a game of cricket, and I'll talk a bit more about that towards the end of this. So, as I said, Sagittarius, straightforward, mutable, doing sort of like energy which can switch between masculine and feminine expression. So you can cry it out with half of yourself and then use the other side to be like, come on now, let's pull ourselves together and start working towards the solutions. And it is important to grieve, but it's also important to heal. So yeah, right now Sagittarius is calling us all to get out of our comfort zones, firstly by taking us into our darkness and to mourn what's gone, what we've lost over the past year, and facing our shadow traits, our negative thoughts. Why do we do that? As I said with the previous questions. So, as well as look into the ways that we dim our inner light and drain our life force, thinking about the ways that we can recharge our inner vitality. And in astrology, the sun is symbolically represented as the source of all life and energy. It represents the conscious mind, the ego, our fighting spirit, our determination to live, create and move forward on the spiritual, financial, psychological, physical, material, earthy levels. And so when the sun is transiting in the constellation of the Centaur, who is half human and half horse, it reminds us to embrace the things we cannot see as much as we love the things that we can see, calling for us to expand our consciousness and try new things, ideas and beliefs over the coming year. First of all, as I said, by mourning, giving up by being self-critical, judgmental and prejudiced, ceasing from letting our past dictate our future. None of this is easy, and it's best not to try to change everything at once. As I said earlier, it's best to pick 1 to 3 things that you can to work on changing over the coming year, allowing optimistic, enthusiastic, happy-go-lucky energy of Sagittarius to guide you, allowing for you to kind of gain this kind of unconditional love and understanding and peace for yourself and others, dedicating yourself to improving your life and facing that darkness within ourselves and the world and accepting it. It can be at first highly fearful and anxious and make us feel hopeless because the state of the world is in general, and also to face our inner darkness. Yet if we keep on working and walking towards transforming our lives, it can get better. And they may not be miraculous, yay, I'm all better now, changes, they never last anyway. But it can just be something simple and profound, such as just committing yourself to manage your low moods more effectively, so they no longer stop you from moving forward or getting closer to a higher power, or manifesting those relationships, career paths, or whatever it is you want to do. the sun's energy is down at its slowest, but as the solstice passed, the sun's energy starts to get stronger and brighter every single day. So it signals to us that we can also do this. And if we balance the need to meet the practicalities of life, the adult stuff like working, looking after our overall well-being, paying the bills, and balance that with our craving for pleasure, the side of us that just wants to hey, Netflix and chill, or just have fun, or get lost in our hobbies and distractions all the time, whether that be, as I said, hooking up and all the other distractions that we can do that stops us from reaching our goals. Because even if it's something as knitting all day, but you've got this dream to maybe jump out the sky or become an astronaut, and maybe not everyone can do that, but whatever your dream is, if you spend all your time not working towards that dream, then you're not going to get there. Learning to be more patient with yourself and avoid restlessness as you bring around these much needed sort of like transformations in your life, and avoid excess of, as I said, in all directions, because positive habits such as exercising, saying mantras all the time, meditating all the time, doing even these things, if we're not taking care of the practicalities, will bring us out of balance as well. So yeah, on the solstice, Mercury makes a conjunction with Venus, so allowing us to communicate with each other more diplomatically and listen to each other's needs with an open mind. Although the strongest conjunction between Venus and Mercury doesn't happen to the 28th, this energy still has an influence in the winter solstice and supports us having those meaningful discussions or going deep with ourselves as well. Mercury also makes a conjunction to Pluto, so this can make people more manipulative. Some people may say extremist things, take explosive action to get their point across, yet this supports deep conversations, avoiding the surface levels of chatter, helping us start those research or writing projects or anything else, allowing for sharp intellectual judgment, taking an all-inclusive approach to get to the bottom of any issues and deliver good work. For some of you who've got deadlines to meet, this energy gives you the focus to not just spend all your time partying, which could get yourself, especially those of you who are working from home, because when we're working from home it's just like, hey, party every day. So yeah, this energy supports you to be focused while having some fun as well. Negatively, at the time of the solstice as well, this energy it brings around deception, so some people may use tricks to get what they want as well. Communication may not be as straightforward, so just gather all the facts, especially in social and intimate settings, and watch out for deceiving yourself as well, because you can just deceive yourself. I've done all the questions in this, ask just some focus, and you may be, oh no, I'm fine, yeah, I love myself and all the rest of it. So it can prevent you getting real. But Pluto's influence can also just make him intensely just be focused on self-improvement, or getting to the bottom of if you think your partner's cheating or something like that. That can be revealed at this time, and then you can just be intense with your words and harsh with your words, so just watch out for that as well. Uranus also makes a conjunction to the North Node, so this brings, again, allowing us to get out of the old and step into the unknown, even though it is scary. But watch out for not just seeking adventure or doing things just to shock others and disarm them, and just to also, some of you may use this energy to just, like, as I said, block your feelings and numb yourself to them as well. But all in all, it supports the innovation of creative ideas and expression as well. Mercury also makes a trine to Uranus, so again, another aspect. So it's important, it's all these energies are gathering up to give us that clear judgment, those original ideas and those observational skills, and allows us to resolve the conflict that will come up today, any conflict, or over the next couple of months as well, because the effect of the winter solstice energy disperses and will affect us throughout the winter. It's not just one day. Again, allows you to even look positively at even the most negative things that happens right now, negative, On the spiritual level, those of you who want to be authentic, bringers of change or for humanity, may be given insight into a way to do so, yet know before we change the world, we must transform ourselves. Mercury trine Uranus at the time of the solstice allows for the subconscious, ethereal, lateral thinking and conscious, logical minds to work together. If you can stay grounded, intuition can be accurate right now, and some of you may gain flashes of inspiration, great for all manifestation work and energy cleansing and realignment rituals, which can be as simple as a nice bath, burning some white sage or some Palo Santo. Also, Venus makes a trine to Uranus, so again allows us to compromise, so it supports the compromise in relationships with our lower and higher selves, our good and bad, our darkness and our light. Increases intuition, also giving us that, adding to the energy of being more enthusiastic about life and doing something new and exciting and breaking away from the mundane and challenging yourself to try and be someone, well, be your authentic self, and breaking away from conformity as well and allowing yourself to be a bit more truly independent. Venus trine to the North Node as well supports that. For some of you, the solstice time can be a time of emotional or spiritual awakening. Fated relationships can happen, or friendships or creative partnerships can also begin or deepen, but be careful about leaping into anything new or committing to resisting one as well. For some of you, especially those with strong North Node of Venus energy in your chart, make sure you see what is rather than what you want to be. Still, it can be the real thing, going within to reveal your highest wishes, someone in a dream or waking life that aspires you to do better. Soul higher consciousness connection, starting a beneficial project, making wise choices that will increase your self-worth and belief. Mercury also makes a sextile to Neptune, so this influences feeling creative, inspired, passionate in your outlook and having the courage to express yourself. Imaginations can soar and send, and ideas can become alive if you make strategic plans to bring them into reality. Harnessing the power of expression, allowing for some of you to appreciate or make great music, poetry, film or art at this time, or you're just writing down goals so that you can become better at your creative expression. Mars makes a sextile to Chiron as well, so this also adds to feeling more compassion for your own pain and others' pain, helping those less fortunate than you, and because this can enrich your life and theirs, and it is the season of giving after all. Sun also makes a square to Jupiter, so again, it allows for you striving towards those goals, giving you that determination. So as you can see, a lot of energy, a lot of aspects that are happening today is wanting us to think more positive and strive towards those goals, influencing self-belief and your capabilities to get what you want. So it's boosting that confidence there, allowing for you to, again, become more optimistic, be more inspirational, and that calculated risk can pay off, but negatively, because we're talking about square as well. It's happening between Sun and Jupiter. Some of you may get caught up in your self-expression and block others from being themselves. Overconfidence can lead to errors and shortcomings, forgetting important details, drink, like I said, or just be a bit more absent-minded right now and forget to do your work. So try and take care of the practicalities once again. Also, because the Sun squares Jupiter, can make people abuse power or argue over different beliefs and that as well. So just make sure you don't waste energy, protect yourself, stand up for yourself, but pick your battles wisely. Remember, this time is about each individual going in and figuring out what they need to let go of in your life. And for some of you, that will be stop being argumentative as well. Venus also makes a square to Chiron, so for some of you, intimate relationships can be challenging, can be painful endings, but it's also supporting that addressing early childhood feelings of rejection, and it creates the opportunity for you to work through these so you can experience more joy in your relationships in the future and develop empathy for yourself and others, and you can prepare to uncover, understand and heal and manage your psychological trauma. So it's helping for those of you who want to heal your wounds, you can do so. Moon also opposes Mars, so it's another warning that it's essential to think before you attempt to express yourself and before you rush into anything, because you may be like, yeah, feel it, want to try all these new things, and then, like I said earlier, burn yourself out. Moon opposes Mars also allows for you to be more balanced in your life and focus and be more determined and doing things that can release your stress. Jupiter's ongoing semi-square with Uranus again, it's reminding us to let go of the old and the stagnant, to get forward into new concepts, unleash the energy of the winter solstice and stoke the flames of your desires for something new and plan for that to happen. Not to be overwhelmed by what lies ahead, because sometimes we do want to change, but it can be overwhelming. We're all snug in our comfort zones. It's all warm here. Yeah, comfort, I know what I'm doing. But sometimes staying in our comfort just makes us live our whole life never trying to attempt to bring our dreams into reality, and then we say things like, oh, I never had the opportunity or anything. And yes, sometimes this is the truth, but 9 times out of 10 it's because we don't try to do the things because we don't believe. So again, it's important to deal with the blocks emotionally, psychologically and spiritually that stops you from doing that. You can start small and dream big. Don't let your negative thoughts prevent you from starting new things. Carefully choose which things to start. Don't start everything at once, as I said earlier. Pick 1 to 3 things to start and create an action plan. Drop down your objectives and strategies and prioritize the ones you are more passionate about, and to avoid being overwhelmed and giving up in 2 weeks. And just remember that, even the smallest of dreams, or even the biggest of dreams, whatever it is, you can bring them into reality with careful planning. Now, the esoteric, hidden kind of spiritual aspects that's happening on the solstice is that Mars is making the sextile to Pluto. So again, this is warning you or showing us that the rejection you experience from others in the past or at this time because of your ideas or your past or current actions can lead you feeling isolated, or your unforgiveness can leave you drowning in feelings of shame and regret. You must know that we're all only doing the best that we can at the time. This aspect supports that some of you may decide to join a non-conformist group that's kind of like anti-mainstream kind of culture, but make sure it's not a cult. All in all, be careful who, what and where you seek comfort from this solstice. Rather than run from your pain, try and embrace it as part of your experience. Mars' sextile to Pluto provides the planetary support that although you may be ridiculed by others right now, it's best to follow your truth. And also it's an indication that some of you, especially those who probably have strong Mars and Pluto energy in your chart, 8th house or 1st house energy or 12th house energy even, may decide to cut ties with family, friends or anyone else that you need to let go of. And also, esoterically, the hidden meaning of this Mars sextile Pluto is that, this influence, be careful how much sugar you consume, especially sugar and alcohol as well, because this influence, and I'm only mentioning it because it can interact with the adrenal glands, which is involved in our regulation for our moods, and this can lead to like impulsive, rageful behaviour, so watch out for that. The Sun also makes a sextile to Uranus, so again, so it's a double whammy. I've mentioned this, but it's a theme that be careful of what you eat, drink or your environment, as this can affect your reactions, and unexpected events can affect your career or personal life. Additionally, this aspect signals to us that leaps of faith can bring the promises of excitement and renewal, so it's supporting that. Rebirth that the the winter solstice calls for. So yeah, what am I like, eh? So yeah, now I'm just going to talk about the Sabian degrees, and as I said earlier, the Sun is in the 6th degree, Sabian degree is Sagittarius. The tagline is a game of cricket. So if you don't know about cricket, it's a bat, a wicket and a ball, and so yeah, and cricket has specific rules, such as the ball cannot hit the body before it hits the bat or a foul is given. Playing a game of cricket not only aims to increase your personal skills, you get good at not hitting the wicket because you're close behind it. If you swing the bat, you could hit it, and also the rules before leg before the wicket to make sure that doesn't happen as well, and that the ball doesn't hit your body. I was forced to watch cricket as a child, so everything in life pays off in the long run. The things that we hate can give us knowledge, but yeah, I used to hate it. My uncles used to make me watch football and the cricket, but yeah, cricket gives you skills but also encourages fairness and collaboration. And as it's a team sort of like sport, it emphasises cricket the importance of putting the group's will ahead of individual desire. So because looking after ourselves and taking care of ourselves, although people say it's selfish, it's not, because it's thinking about how we can uplift the collective. So for some of you, you may just decide to improve yourself to do your part in changing the world. For others of you, you may do this for your family or your community, or you may set up an idea or continue an idea that can make the world a better place in general. But ultimately, the winter solstice and this Sabine degree, the 6th degree Sagittarius, is again asking us to do all we can to improve our life. And also, first of all, before we go around trying to change others, we have to change ourselves. And because some of us, we try and change others. I've been guilty of it, but focus on ourselves. And this is how we can get others to change, is truly leading by example. A lot of us fall into, oh, look at me, I'm so great, but our behaviours are not that great, and I've been guilty of that as well. As I said, all of us have good and bad traits. So yeah, Jupiter, which plays a lot of aspects are in Jupiter at this solstice. So the tagline for that, again, Jupiter's in the 6th degree of Pisces, so it's a dress parade with officers in a dress parade, sorry. So again, this is another symbol that calls for us all to give, just even if it's just a little bit of our personal egotistical behaviours for the greater good. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture like, opening a social enterprise or spiritually orientated group that I mentioned earlier, but just doing something that can help you uplift yourself or others in some way, being a bit open-minded. It could just be that, just doing that, just being a bit more willing to set things out of your comfort zone as well. So that's what the Jupiter Sabine degree is supporting as well. And the Sun makes a sextile to Uranus, and Uranus is in the 22nd degree of Aries. So the tagline for this is the gate to a garden of desire. So it's reminding us that we have to be careful of overindulging in drugs, alcohol, sex, hookups, whatever, anything that distracts us at this solstice, and pay attention to what we really need to make ourselves better at this time. If you're just thinking individually, or the world, if you're thinking collectively. And this symbol wants us to say, in some places of the world there is scarcity, famine, war, poverty, but if we were to join forces on a global collective level, not to be woo-woo, but I do want it, but we can manifest a life of a collective abundance if we did do this. But a lot of the times we don't do this, and if we think about it, it's because of a lot of us don't do this on an individual governmental level. This is why a lot of these things that we all hate, the decisiveness, people hating each other, killing each other, and saying my beliefs are better than yours. But if we just share the world's resources a bit more fairly, things will be better. But hey, let's get off the woo-woo. And so it's asking us to focus on how we can make life better for ourselves, and to remind us that for a lot of us, we think that it'd be money, but many people gain great wealth and they are often filled with great misery, as others want to steal what they've got, or they've got to just be overly anxious, always on the lookout for people trying to do them over, as we say in England, in some way. And this symbol is just reminding us that theoretically we're all capable of living an abundant life. A beautiful vision that's within us can be met with hard work and embracing the inevitable pain and uncertainty that comes with living. Sharing is the power of unity, and it is caring after all. So Uranus in the 22nd degree of Aries is just wanting us again to bring into our mind to look at how we use our desires, how our self-destructive thought and behaviours drive ourselves away from ourselves and drives other people away from us, and how we can just improve our lives. So yeah, I'm summing up now. The sun's energy on its solstice day reminds us that times may be dark, but spring and its promise of renewal and growth always comes. The pursuit of joy is an integral part of human life, as is pain. Yet in today's world, we miss joy and happiness as we can become busy competing rather than cooperating with each other. The more humble and ethical our ambitions, the more meaningful our goals can become, using our mind over matter to see the light through the darkness that's present, and having faith in your ability to change your life if you wish, is the overall message of this winter solstice. Now is the time to go within, reflecting and taking stock of where you are, although scary. Embrace the darkness and the silence. If you do find yourself being alone at this time, see it as everything happens for a purpose. And if you can, be patient with the process of growth, allowing your intuition to guide you to the new. Training yourself to understand and use the winter's energy to help you uncover and cultivate and grow your own inner power, to reevaluate your life so you can find clarity and discover the way to manifest your highest potential, not by just meditating and wishing. And you have to take meditation's part of it, but and being mindful and all of that, but taking practical action and not being afraid of your own shadow, because when we do this, we miss out on a huge resource of our personal strength. The key is to not let the darkness take over, but to work with it, channeling it into creative or any other project or hobby that allows you to let in the darkness safely as you transform yourself into a better you. By allowing yourself to feel your emotions and experience your darkness, you open yourself up to a spiritual transformation. And those who don't believe in that, like an earthly transformation, then see the darkness as a chalice, a vessel through which we can fill our souls with more lighter and more balanced emotions as we grow in self-understanding, love, forgiveness, care, nurturing, empathy and all of that, and learn to manage ourselves emotionally, spiritually, financially, psychologically as well. And often we can look upon our emotions as a negative thing, but the solstice is asking us to look upon them more positively, as well as our darkness, and doing this can give us a more deeper and more understanding perspective, and we can take our pain and sorrow and use it to build something more beautiful and meaningful that sets us on a path to healing and growth. Our darkness can be a powerful sort of like force, and with patience and resilience we can use it to our advantage, allowing us to move forward in a brighter and more fulfilling way. So the solstice just wants us to embrace the darkness, let go of what we need to, not all at once, write down, reflect, and just slowly step forward out of the darkness into your light. So yeah, that's the solstice, and that's the daily scopes for the 21st. So yeah. On the 22nd of December, the Sun leaves out of bounds at 1:43 a.m. Then Mercury leads out of bounds at 2:43 a.m. Also, void of course moon starts at 6:20 p.m. in the evening. And then the moon enters Sagittarius at 10. When the moon enters the constellation of Sagittarius, some of you may have foretelling, visionary dreams or ideas, and as you know, the sun's in Sagittarius and now the moon's going into Sagittarius as well, so it's amplifying this energy. You may find yourself more restless, seeking independence and adventure, and disliking routine. You may have a keener sense of justice, but it's best to think before you say your insights. Legal, political, workplace or community events may sometimes interfere with your social or personal commitments when the moon's in the constellation of Sagittarius. This energy allows you to focus, however you may forget to consider others' feelings and thoughts, which can cause disagreements. If you find yourself on edge and more sensitive than usual, you may find that exercising or anything else to release the pent-up energy and emotion will help you relax. You may pay more attention to politics, finances or cultural activities, especially if they directly affect you or your home life. You may find yourself taking a trip with family or friends to a place of profound significance to you guys. People may become more friendly, empathetic, outspoken, honest, ethical and direct, more so than normal, making things more peaceful in relationships. The Sagittarius moon can make people want more freedom, which may cause disturbances in committed relationships. Negatively, people can become more eccentric, selfish, detached and unpredictable. There can be an increase in disagreements over prejudiced opinions and ways of life. There can also be legal or other serious problems due to disagreements or over religious or any other beliefs that you may have as well. Sometimes there can be problems with financial transactions and people deceiving others or fraudulently getting what they want through professional means. It is vital that you double check all paperwork and do your own research. At times there can be a struggle with being willing to take a more philosophical or higher consciousness approach to your life, and the side of you that wants to stay in your comfort zone, maybe because of traumatic memories from your childhood and the beliefs you were told to follow, that may surface now, causing the conflicts between you wanting to try out a new belief and the part of you just like, no, I must do what I was brought up to do and stuff like that. If you do receive guidance right now, of course, analyze it, but don't disregard it solely because of what's happened in your past or your past beliefs. The best use of the moon's energy traveling through the constellation of Sagittarius is to plan long journeys maybe, and be open-minded, look over legal documents, resolve conflicts and focus on the bigger picture of your education, any educational new skills you may want to learn, any new belief system or your current belief system, questioning if it's still valid, and also taking some time out to look into your personal development. Anything that expands your intellect or consciousness in some way is good. Some of you may benefit from seeking out spiritual, religious, psychological, philosophical or some other form of guidance and exploration. In fact, some of you may become intrigued to the point of obsession with occult knowledge or practices. When the moon travels through the constellation of Sagittarius, it's a good time for those involved in farming or gardening to sprout seeds, harvest or store bulbs and roots, plant or cultivate bulb or fruit plants, and sort of like general groundwork is favoured. The moonlight will boost the growth of the leaves and the planting of things like legumes, lentils, peas and beans and cucurbits, such as cucumber, courgette, squash, melons and tomatoes and peppers, and also mowing the lawn. All these things are weather permitting, because sometimes the moon goes into Sagittarius when it's winter in certain places and it's not good to plant those things, but yeah, in general it is. So yeah, that is the 22nd of December. On the 23rd of December, we have a new moon. So we just had the solstice. Now we've got the new moon. So new moon energy is all about new beginnings, which the solstice has called us to plan for, even if it's just new ways of thinking and doing things. Improving your life, starting new projects, looking for a new career, beginning new courses and things like that. Rearranging your home or office for comfort and practicality is a good use of this energy. For some of you, it's not best to take practical action just yet, but like I was saying when I was talking about the solstice, still plan, write it down, reflect on what changes you need to make, creating a strategic plan to ensure you will stay consistent in trying to achieve your threats or continuing your goals. Don't underestimate the planning side of things. People are more likely to think more independently under the new moon, focusing on their own priorities so they can become more introverted, less socializing. Anything started under the new moon period is well aspected to be a success in the long run if you are prepared to do the hard work to make your dreams a reality. Negatively, people can become intensely focused on their needs at this time, and this can lead to egotistical and selfish behaviour, and at the other extreme, controlling behaviour to get what people may manipulate to get what they want, which can cause full-blown arguments as people battle with each other to say, oh, well, I'm going to use my willpower to dominate the environment. Oh, no, I am. And, that sort of thing. But all in all, the new moon is a good time to invest money in your own personal development or long-term investments in stock or any other markets, especially those related to food, creativity and entertainment. But make sure you check facts and before you take any sort of like risk. So at the time of the moon makes a square to Jupiter, so this reminds us that the journey of personal transformation and success calls for discipline. So don't succumb to the law of apathy and complacency. It's time to embrace the spirit of positivity and taking the initiative, fostering a sense of optimism so that you can just reach for the stars, not letting anything stand in your way. Mercury's conjunction to Venus gives us the opportunity to be more civilized with each other, be more empathetic and listen to other people's requests with an open heart. So again, it supports conflict resolution, taking care of those you care about with a good meal or words, maybe some poetic ones for you budding Shakespeare's out there. Mercury also makes a conjunction to Pluto, so just watch out for style demanding behaviour. Some people may take it to the extreme and make their opinions known through fiery speech and radical action. But the positive use of this aspect is taking time out to have meaningful dialogue and staying clear of superficial conversations. Also, this power can be used to manipulate others, so watch out for that. Make sure you collect all the facts, check all the details, especially in social and romantic settings, especially with anyone new. Do not ignore the red flags. Uranus makes a conjunction to the North Node, so again, this just allows exploring, going beyond the familiar, exploring new possibilities. Some people may just say and do things as well with this energy. Uranus is involved here just to get a reaction as well, but take a calculated approach to anything that opens you up. Be creative. Mars is sextile to Chiron. This influence can make some people act in a way that triggers other people's emotional or psychological pain, but it allows for you to give that extra loving care and attention to yourself and those around you, and giving back, especially to those who don't have as much as you. Mercury makes a sextile to Neptune as well, so supporting exploring those creative projects and giving you the power to be courageous and do all you can to get in touch with that side of you that likes music, like arts, and letting your imagination take flight as well. But remember again, even though it supports you making these grandiose plans and stuff, you have to make sure that you make a plan and follow through in those actions to follow it through. The Sun squares to Jupiter gives the power to have faith in your own abilities and the determination to reach your own goals and have a more positive attitude to your life, increasing self-confidence. Those who want to step up into a leadership role, New Year's coming, maybe a new job, look online, search, look for a new career, start your own career as well. Taking a calculated chance can bring rewards in the long run. Unfortunately, though, the negative end of this, some people can become so self-absorbed in their own self that they can hinder others from being themselves and saying, well, my way is the best way and stuff. People can overestimate their abilities, and this kind of carelessness can lead to mistakes. You may think that you know it all, but some of you may have gaps in your understanding relevant information, and this can cause mistakes. So you can just watch, I don't know, a Netflix documentary and now think you're a psychologist or something like that. This sort of influence does this kind of thing. So just make sure you got all the facts, and you may just feel like you're having some kind of awakening, but know that on the path to awakening there's many backtracks, so just be careful about that. Mercury's trine to Uranus allows you to be optimistic even in the face of adversity, have a keen eye for detail and judgment, and the capacity to resolve any conflicts that comes up with yourself or with other people right now. Venus makes a trine to Uranus as well, so this allows you to find balance in all your relationships with yourself, your higher power, your lower self, sharpens intuition and provides the courage to be liberated from conformity. If you wish, the December new moon reminds you that with dedication comes great reward, newfound enthusiasm for life, and a fresh, fun approach to relationships. Some questions to ask yourself during this period. Or are you ready to switch things up and explore something new? Shake off the dullness of everyday routine and dare to be yourself, to be the person you always wanted to be. And also, Venus trine Uranus allows us to laugh at ourselves, laugh at the world, even if your life is kind of crap and everything falls apart right now. Venus also makes a trine to the North Node, so this influence can be a catalyst, supporting the sort of emotional, spiritual transformation. That can be fainted encounters, friendship and creative collaborations, and committing to new things or relationships, or deepening commitment in an existing relationship. But make sure what you're looking at, who you're looking at, is what you need in your life, rather than seeing at you what you want to see. Still, that could be a reality of delving inward to uncover your greatest dreams. A person in your dreams or daily life that motivates you to do better can also help you to open up more emotionally and psychologically and tap into your soul, higher consciousness, or begin a rewarding adventure and decide wisely to gain the most from your life. This energy sort of like supports all of that. Also, at the time of the new moon, the sun and the moon are in the 8th degree of Sagittarius. Tagline for this degree is rocks and things forming therein. So this new moon is calling for you to connect with the mysterious flame within your soul, higher consciousness that has the power to both cleanse your thoughts and alter your behaviours. Powers from the core of your psyche can react to external events with more enthusiasm and more involvement in collective dreams and feelings, to leave the past and move forward, taking baby steps to refine your life, even though your conscious self may not notice the modifications until they are made manifest through conscious and continuous improvement. But some of you will have this sort of just deep understanding that may come through a dream, as I said earlier, or through a person that is shifting you, and then your behaviours may slowly start to change over time, but you won't really understand why this has happened. This degree again shows that a positive transformation can come if you always are ready to take the next step, and the symbol signifies the internal changes that can be accomplished by psychological and emotional development. Jupiter is in the 7th degree of Pisces, and the tagline of this is a cross lying on the rocks. So this imagery comes up a majestic sort of like cross which gleams in the light cast by the sun. And just remember, we're coming out of the winter solstice period, and on this the cross is perched atop some rocks, and the sea and its mist is enveloping it, and its presence serves as a reminder of the power of standing firm in your convictions, no matter the odds or the outcome. This new moon reminds that we may have to go alone at times. It can be a very lonely journey to follow your own and true authentic path. Still, the energy of this new moon is reminding you that you have all you need within you to make powerful adjustments in your life and to start to continue to heal your psychological, spiritual and emotional traumas. This energy supports those who refuse to conform to society and other people's expectations, but instead strive to be authentic and considerate of others and themselves and their opposites, and just to move forward through them. And times when you're letting go of things, when you're recognizing your own pain, it can get very dark indeed, as symbolized by the new moon, and the moon's not visible at the time of the new moon. Nevertheless, there is power within yourself, if you tap into it, that can fill your inner void and sustain you, giving you the strength and provide a guiding light to your own inner and higher power. Ignoring outward calls to be who you are not, and going towards who you are, letting go of your comfort zone, focusing on your own conscience and your authentic wishes, will eventually lead you to have an aura that exudes self-determination and confidence. If you listen to that still, calm inner voice, it can guide you. Uranus is in the 22nd degree of Aries. The tagline is the Garden of Desire. So this energy just reminds you to just be careful and watch what you do with your desires at this time, not to just run and numb yourself with intoxicating substances or distractions, although it may be painful. You know, it's cold, you want some comfort, you want to hook up, you don't want to be alone, but just think about what these quick fixes actually do to your overall well-being in the long run. Normally they lead you to feeling guilty about what you've done, especially and you regret it, and then it just creates a cycle of shame and guilt and repeat and just highs and lows and doing the same thing and repetitive. So try and break free of any destructive patterns that you have. So yeah, that's the 23rd of December. On the 24th of December, Venus leaves out of bounds at 8:26. The moon enters void of course at 7:33 p.m. GMT time. And the moon also enters Capricorn at 1 minute past 10. So when the moon's in the constellation of Capricorn, people are more concerned with their careers and public matters and what is practical and profitable, and are more inclined to push their emotions aside. There can be an increase in socialising and networking for career or other professional reasons. You and others can become more formal and uncaring. This is a good energy to organise and become more disciplined in thought and action. Making a financial plan for your old age and helping others to do so is a perfect use of this vibration, as are all other forms of financial and material planning. Do your best to positively reduce any stress you have about your financial, spiritual, and emotional health. Negatively, the moon transiting in Capricorn can make for a lot of family drama, arguments over money, status, taste, or lack of possessions. People can be more withdrawn, pessimistic and depressed than usual, being fearful of trying new things or hearing fresh ideas. Rather than sort yourself out from your emotions, relieve any stress you have about your financial, psychological, physical, spiritual and emotional health in a positive way, rather than, keeping it all in. That can lead to you drinking your sorrows alone and stuff like that, because Capricorn makes us do things in secret rather than out there typically. The best use of the moon in Capricorn is to concentrate on business, household and other practical matters or problems, focusing on your own personal or career goals, development and healing, without becoming too excessive and egotistical and shutting out those you're intimate with without explanation or shutting yourself out. Although you may be more emotional, reserved, then other times it's best to speak to all you come into contact with sensitivity and understanding, rather than being cold, because this can just come across as just not caring. Do all you can to avoid excessiveness, pick your battles wisely and protect your reputation by being ethical and direct. It's an excellent time to help any children or anyone younger than you whose lives you're involved in with their career or educational process. When the moon is in Capricorn, it's good for gardeners to plant all forms of root crops because it supports rapid healing and excessive root growth. This increases final yield. It's also a perfect energy to fertilise and prune your garden, as it will recover quickly. Mercury makes a quincunx to Uranus, which gives the chance to be more unique and express unconventional weird ideas. People can become more enthusiastic or anxious at this time. Stubborn behaviour and unwillingness to understand others' opinion can cause conflict in relationships, leading to a breakdown in communication. There can also be delays in all forms of communications and journeys. So yeah, for everyone who's listened to the whole of this, thanks for that. It's been a hell of a week, and that's the weekly scopes from the 18th of December right up into the 24th of December. Take care, look after yourself, bye bye.